Hello and welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program with me, the Green Dragon. So just let's make a quick check of our ship here. Everything appears to be in order. So we will be taking over this ship over to Paul now. To do that, we actually are gonna wait until we are closer to the ascending node relative to Paul, and to that we make sure that both sides of both orbits overlap, and that would be more or less about here. We want to push into a higher orbit, so that will probably push us into a lower one. No, that does push us into a higher one. Excellent. And that makes the eventual node go down. Excellent. So just make sure that the ejection angle is about as good as it can be, and that does appear to be pretty good. Now all we have to do is carry out that maneuver, which begins in some 10 minutes. To that end, we need to turn our ship. We will disable this and use the RCS to help with our turn. Right now our ship is mostly free of all the stuff that's attached to it, and it estimates a burn time of 16 seconds apparently, which I find strange since this ship is not that light. Still, it probably would not be quite a long burn, so it should be fine. Anyway, we have shed most of the extra weight, and I mean, we are a lot lighter, so this last bit of fuel will take us a lot further than you would expect, because we are so much lighter and carrying so much less stuff. We have gotten rid of some, well, I don't know, more than half of our ship's weight at this point, certainly. Okay, I intend to wait for until we are, say, 3 or 4 minutes of... Whoa, that's a bit too close. There we... And that is apparently going... Oh, son of a... My apologies. That is set in entirely the wrong direction. We need to turn ourselves around and do so quickly. Towards that end, I may wish to enable some of these RCS ports. Of course, this may or may not push us off balance, and in fact it is, but at the same time we kind of need the extra turning power. I believe we have sufficient RCS to swing it, and indeed we do. Turning all the way around now, and we may just miss our burn spot. Actually, we shouldn't. 50% before the node, 50% after should be more or less alright. So, and now it is in fact going down, so we will disable the RCS and burn. Okay, there we go. Okay, first we burn here, get ourselves out of Bob orbit, and then we will sync our orbits with Paul, and then we'll look for an opportunity to set up a nice little intercept. And we already have an escape, so that is certainly nice. Alrighty. And currently I have the crossfeed enabled because this is the last of our detachable fuel tanks, and when this is spent, well, there's no reason to... I mean, Previously I wanted to measure accurately because I detached the outer tanks in sets of 2, and this is exactly 2 of the outer tanks, the central one, so you know. But here we are only detaching a single one, so it's easier to measure it exactly by just keeping track of when this is fully spent. And that is entirely wrong. Let's just refill those. I do not believe this tank on the lander is draining, at least it shouldn't be. I will check momentarily after this is refueled. We will be deploying a mapping probe around Paul. There aren't any anomalies there, but we do want a map. Right, this is not draining. I will actually disable this, and then when this is spent, we'll just drop it. And we'll know, because the engines will cut out for a bit there. We shouldn't be in any position where we need engine power right away, you know, so quickly that we don't have the time to re-enable this, especially I mean, if we are such a situation that these engines are so weak that enabling the engines immediately would accomplish nothing. Our burn is nearly complete. I am trying to adjust, but it's not really letting me. I think it's actually pushing off balance because of this thing. Alright, we'll do this then. We'll drain the fuel from it to make it lighter. Further, we will drain the RCS from it to once again make it lighter. Make this probe as light as we possibly can while continuing to burn. Actually, I at this point will free the gimbals on this in order to compensate for that misbalance a little bit better, and yes, we can now turn our ship, and that is all right. Slight disbalance there, nothing to worry about, I think. Okay, that is virtually perfect. And there we go. Another 40 meters per second. Yeah, you can see the... I don't know what... the rocket exhaust wriggling around as it tries to adjust for whatever it's adjusting for. And cut the engines, and I believe we are good. Head for an escape. There we are. Goodbye maneuver node. Further on we'll need to burn northwards at that point. Yes, we left a probe there, and that is just fine, I think. Right, we're pretty horizontal too, which is kind of good. I believe we... Ah, look, that's a close pass of some description. Excellent. There we go, 20 meters per second, perfectly reasonable. And that's a 6-second burn, apparently, in an hour and a half. Alrighty. Everything appears to be more or less in order for now. Okay. It will spray RCS everywhere, but that can't really be helped much. Come on. A bit too much movement, but luckily we have more than an hour and a half in order to get it right. Right, very nearly there, very nearly. Yes, this last stage, after I think this detachable fuel tank will take us all the way to Pole, and after that, this last stage, the fuel in the drive stage, drive assembly itself, should be more than enough to actually take us all the way home. So, I believe fuel should be perfectly alright. Or maybe it won't be, in which case we're screwed. Who knows? But I expect it will be alright. Incidentally, I'm also started some preliminary work on an eve and back mission, which would be a significant challenge, but I believe I can build a parachute powered lander that has enough delta V to ascend from Eve, and you know, after landing safely, of course. So it may just be in the works. Let's try to adjust this a bit further, actually, and that's about as good as it's gonna be, and that's pretty damn good, actually. Okay, this is gonna be our closest approach, and alrighty. So what we can do is we can do a burn somewhere here. After that, here. So if I do this, excellent, a sled burn, and we will get ourselves a neat little intercept. Excellent. Perfect. Ooh, no. 100,000 will do just fine, I believe. Okay, 5 hours away. Let's just watch the timer here, and 10 minutes. Excellent. And I believe that will be prograde at 90 degrees, so we need to turn this thing. This has that much, and this has that much. I will refuel the probe before detaching it, and I will place it once again into a polar orbit around the moon. Okay, and keep turning ever so slightly, and break the turn with the RCS, and on the mark. Excellent. 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 Okay, we might actually be able to take this all the way back to Kerbin and drop it into a stable orbit safely, in which case this is a reusable spaceship, parts of it anyway, which certainly makes it more interesting. But we'll see how that goes. And there we go. Watch the map view, cut the engine here and shift back up to a much lighter throttle setting. Okay, kill the maneuver. Here we have that. That seems about right. I'll go with that. And there we go. Hopefully we won't smash into the planetoid. If we do, I'll be slightly upset. Ascending node is 0.0, which is about as good as you usually get it. And all is well in the world. Approaching it. We'll have some relative speed to kill, but it shouldn't be too much. Well, it's moving at 1070, we're moving at 990. So some relative speed in order to drop into orbit. Actually, you want a bit of relative speed as you come in, because otherwise you'll just end up... Because you know, you want enough sideways movement to miss the planet. There we go. Some 200 thingies. Alrighty, that is too low though. That is about right. Alrighty. The burn at least is not too long. Just 200 meters per second, and we are pretty damn light at this point, so we can do such a burn relatively easily now. Okay, we are 2 minutes away, it's time to turn and align ourselves. And where is our... There it is, there's our target. And start... About halfway through your turn you want to start braking it. It's a thing, trust me on that. Just gently drifting to place. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna wait until I'm 30 seconds out, and then I'm gonna, press on the gas really, really, really hard, and we'll see what happens. Okay, actually, let's not overdo it. 45 will do, I believe. Ah, excellent. The estimated burn time marker was lying, so this works out about right. This is looking good, and since the gimballing is on, I believe I can safely refuel this. Maybe I'm wrong and will drift a tiny bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. I can always turn on the RCS to compensate, since we have barely used any of it. Well, we haven't used that much of it anyway. Okay, orbit is looking good. We are mostly horizontal too, so... And grab a screenshot. There's Jewel. Yeah. Anyway, I think this looks kind of cool. We'll do our braking maneuver and then we'll think about detaching the probe. Let's just keep transferring over the fuel. I actually stopped halfway through that apparently. Alrighty. Yeah, this gives us time to just prepare for the release of our probe, and all appears to be quite well. Further, we want the RCS in there. Well, actually we don't, do we? We really don't, we just need a smidge to push ourselves away from the mothership. So, we'll give it 10 units, that should be more than enough. Also, we will enable a pair of... Actually, we'll enable all of them, I suppose. At least on the front. And might as well do it on the back as well. And our burn is about done. Enable that one as well. Yes, let's finish it properly. That's somewhat low. Believe that I don't like that. Okay, so undock, switch. Okay, we'll want to activate this engine, enable all of this. Okay. Okay, that's... Well, at least we are... No. Okay. Ah, this is not engaged. Well, we'll start by doing this. That should be simple enough. And then I suppose we need to burn either northwards or southwards. And I believe we'll do northwards. Whoa, princess, whoa. Okay, shifting our orbit. All should be relatively well with that. Keep shifting it, keep shifting it. We'll want to go into a slightly higher orbit, but not that much higher, obviously, because that's just overkill. Okay, let's just adjust it down now, since that's all we really need to do here. And let's make a map. Right, perfectly on the north-south line, which is excellent news. And drop back into an orbit. It's pretty low. We'll go for 60,000, that seems about right. Okay, there we go. Nearly at the apoapsis. And there we are. Actually, I would prefer a slightly lower thrust and maybe higher efficiency even. You know, 1 meter engine for these small probes. Something really, really lightweight, because this has far more thrust than it needs. And that's Pop, Tylo, Paul. Alright, let's switch back to the main mission and see about that. I think I want to adjust the periapsis a tiny bit higher. So, wait until we hit the apoapse here, and we will turn and we will attempt to push this ever so slightly higher to some 37, because at really low altitudes it's a bitch to try and rendezvous. It really is. There we go. Well, that's close enough for government work, I believe. Alrighty. We are then more or less done with that. Let's just turn ourselves northwards and prepare for an eventual undocking. And I believe I will record the landing and, you know, relaunch and docking right now. 'Cause you know, I'm just awesome like that. So, yeah, actually, why not? Let's have 2 parts today, since it's been a few days since I uploaded the previous one. So, I'll see you in a second once we are on the sunny side and ready for a landing.